What's going on, guys? WWE Monday Night Raw for March 17th, 2014. Loaded, to say the least. I was just looking back at last night's results, writing them down to come here to report to you, and it was a huge night. I mean, I didn't quite seem how huge it was till now, looking back at it, writing down the notes and so forth, looking back at the notes from last night's live telecast. And watching live, it didn't seem that big until reading it right now. Don't get me wrong, it was a great WWE Monday Night Raw for last night, but don't get me wrong, obviously, it was locked and loaded. To start off the night, we had the promo with Triple H, Batista, and Randy Orton. Triple H saying he was frustrated at Randy Orton every week, Batista every week, and especially Daniel Bryan every week. He went on to say that Daniel Bryan will not beat him, and he went on to say if Daniel Bryan does defeat Triple H at WrestleMania, he will go on to face Randy Orton and Batista in the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, making it a triple threat match. Not only if Daniel Bryan wins will it be a triple threat match, but breaking news, if Triple H defeats Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania, Triple H will join Randy Orton versus Batista in the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. So that started off the night. That's huge, epic to say the least. Triple H could be WWE World Heavyweight Champion following WrestleMania. So let me know your thoughts down below. What do you guys think of that? And up next, we had the Real Americans defeat the Usos in a non-title match, which is actually very surprising for me, especially with the Real Americans, Jack Swagger and Cesaro, the last couple of weeks been feuding. It actually doesn't quite seem like they're going to break up before WrestleMania now. I mean, there's just a few weeks until WrestleMania, and the Real Americans last night showed no sign of breaking up like they did the past weeks. But that was actually breaking news. The first loss, yes, ladies and gentlemen, that was the first loss of the Usos in 2014 on Monday Night Raw. They lost again in a pay-per-view against the New Age Outlaws, but never on Raw. That the Real Americans, Jack Swagger and Antonio, well, now just known as Cesaro, were the first two men to beat the Usos. They're still undefeated in singles competition, if you still count that, but they are no longer undefeated in tag team matches. So, will the Real Americans go on to face the Usos at WrestleMania? Let me know your thoughts on that as well. Since it was March 17th, it was St. Patrick's Day. Nothing wrong with Sheamus, the old Irish fella, and Hornswoggle. We haven't seen Hornswoggle in a while. Had his straight hair, long hair. Sheamus defeated Titus O'Neil. We haven't seen Titus O'Neil since the Titus Darren feud. But it is announced that both Sheamus and Titus will be in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal match at WrestleMania 30. Bray Wyatt and John Cena had a promo just catching you guys up for WrestleMania. And Daniel Bryan went up against Randy Orton in a no disqualification non-title matchup. Daniel Bryan was successful after Batista ran in and speared Randy Orton. Daniel Bryan got the 1-2-3. That's how Daniel Bryan could win at WrestleMania, but first, obviously, he has to go and victoriously win against Triple H. But nonetheless, Daniel Bryan did defeat Randy Orton, getting some momentum. Then after the match, following Randy Orton's loss, Batista delivered a Batista bomb to Randy Orton. That Batista bomb was due to an RKO to Batista earlier in the night when Triple H announced that he will be in the triple threat match if he does defeat Daniel Bryan. Randy Orton, after that promo, gave Batista an RKO. Up next, we had Paul Heyman do a quick promo saying Undertaker's getting old. Undertaker doesn't have too many matchups up in the tank. So hopefully Undertaker's been getting his cardio up as of late. I mean, Brock Lesnar is not the easiest WWE worker to work with. Triple H, he got tired again. That's the match where Undertaker had to be carried out in the stretcher against Triple H. And Triple H is probably one of the greatest wrestlers to wrestle with. He probably works around with you, especially with it being The Undertaker. But it's going to be interesting to see how Brock Lesnar works with The Undertaker. Up next, we had Goldust defeated Fandango. Just a time filler match, it seemed. And then The Shield and Kane, they were saying how last week in Memphis, the Occupy Raw, why the police didn't come down, all because it was in Memphis, Jerry the King Lawler's hometown. The Shield and Kane then planned on attacking Jerry, and then Jerry just walked out, and the Shield actually turned their backs on Kane and pretty much destroyed Kane. I don't know if this is writing Kane off television. I know him and his wife just opened a auto insurance or insurance agency, and Kane's been planning on leaving the WWE industry and possibly even running for Congress wherever he's from. Next up, we had the Funkadactyls with the returning Naomi, Trinity with the eye patch due to the injury a few weeks ago by Oksana. So it's good to see Naomi back in the ring, and AJ Lee, the losing streak continues. So we'll see how that goes in the following weeks. What else we had? After that match, actually, Tamina and AJ had a brief argument, and Tamina knocked her over, but nonetheless, that was the Divas match. Huge 8-man tag team match, which actually was very good. In my opinion, the face team, those men are great seeing in live action. Big Show, Dolph Ziggler, Big E, and Mark Henry defeated Alberto Del Rio, Ryback, Curtis Axel, and Damien Sandow. All these 8 men will be in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal at WrestleMania. The face team with Big Show, Dolph Ziggler, Big E, and Mark Henry, always great seeing those guys live, especially Dolph Ziggler. Now for the heel team, honestly, they're pretty bland. Damien Sandow, I'm not a fan of his. He just bores me, but we'll see how if WWE picks up the ball with him, especially ever since he lost to John Cena following Money in the Bank pay-per-view in which he won. We then had Bray Wyatt, a quick promo with Bray Wyatt and John Cena once again, just for WrestleMania. Had an Eminem song in there, Legacy, I believe, from his new album. So it was very interesting there. And then Bray Wyatt defeated Kofi Kingston. Poor Kofi. Defeated Randy Orton a few weeks ago, and, that's how it goes. And then following the main part of the show, following up the Daniel Bryan Triple H. If Triple H wins, it will be a triple threat as well if Daniel Bryan wins. But the main thing in the night, we had Daniel Bryan being attacked by Triple H. Triple H said how he respects Daniel. Then Stephanie came down yelling, calling the cops out there. Fake cops handcuffed Daniel Bryan, and to summarize it up, Daniel Bryan got beat up by Triple H. And actually, following Raw on the backstage segment on the WWE Network, he was pushed into the hospital, got a notification on the way home today that he suffered an MRI, that he needs an MRI. He got a separated shoulder. So Triple H attacked Daniel Bryan. It was all a play, all a part for Stephanie McMahon and Triple H. So we'll see how this goes. WrestleMania in a few weeks. Triple H attacked Daniel Bryan. Will Triple H defeat Daniel Bryan? And will Triple H be in the triple threat match against Randy Orton and Batista at WrestleMania? Will Triple H even possibly become WWE World Heavyweight Champion?